next week, John. No, no, no. More like today. More like in 6 hours, right? Because you got the president of the United States. It's always the hyperbole with him. It's always the way he says things that just really irks me, but I got to get over it. Congratulations to everyone. Like he just got done completing the construction of a new casino. But he does say that it has been fully agreed by Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire. We want this. This is what we want, right? A lot of us, you got to be able to stick to the sentiments, stick to, getting what you want, stick to being able to say, hey, we don't want more wars, we want this to be handled diplomatically. So it looks like they're working towards that. Now, in the comment that you put here in the video that I just made, I told you guys, I tried to simplify this thing and tell you it's about taking a short. Like one country is going to have to take a short. In this case, I think both countries took a short, and I'll show you why in another post from the president here, right? And that post is right here. He's going to signal that Iran is taking it short. That's why it's at the very top. Iran is officially responding to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response, which we expected and have effectively countered. There have been 14 missiles fired, 13 were knocked down, and one was set free. So that right there is letting you know, hey, listen, dog, they took it short. We did X, Y, Z, and what they did wasn't that effective. Now, some of you in the comments, probably smarter than me and or just more conspiratorial than me, you've said that Iran took that short by giving the U.S. a heads up in their own way that this attack was coming, and the U.S. was able to take enough action to shelter soldiers and make sure no American lives were lost, which is important, which is good. I agree that that is a short. What I also agree that is a short in America's way is to be able to say, okay, you sent missiles at our bases. That wasn't nothing. That's also a short for a superpower, because we could most definitely have went about this in a much more rigid, in a much more power hungry, war hungry way, and go, no one can dare send missiles at us, you're done for, right? So now the conversations, which goes to his next point here, is about peace and harmony in the region. And in this place, I'm gonna try to keep this very short, because one day I would love to do a longer piece on this, and which is the effects of our foreign policy dating back decades, and a concept that I've been working on called the devil you deserve. And it requires us not to look at things only from a Western lens, but look at it from other lenses, which is very hard for a lot of us to do, especially as Americans and or other Westerners, British, French, etc. Iran is a very interesting place to me, because when you look at just from an American point of view and our involvement, and then you try to look at other point of views, and you think about something that America likes to do, which is when America and the Brits and the French, as just an imperial coalition, is when we don't agree with a leader, or the leader is maybe nationalizing certain resources and things like that, and we're willing to help get that leader removed, because that's the devil we don't want, and we try to get the devil that we know in power. We never consider the devil that we deserve, which Iran is a perfect example, right? We go from Mohammed Mossadegh in the parliament, and then the 1953 coup in Iran, and then you get the Shah back in power, and then I guess that's the devil we know, right? Looking out for U.S. And British interests, supported by the CIA and MI6, but then you never quite think about the devil you deserve, which is the devil that's going to give you a hard time, that's going to put a mirror right to your face. And we've been dealing with that for years, because although, and pardon me, because I don't want to spend too much time on this video, although we can most certainly talk about what the Iranian regime since 1979 has been to today, and their atrocities as well, we don't get there without previous actions, right? And also, furthermore, at least us wanting to talk about the concept of having people be able to decide just exactly what government works for them, and go through the rough patches that every other Western power did, right? If we don't depose Mohammed Mossadegh in the 50s, we probably don't get the Shah back in power, who doesn't leave the room open for Ayatollah and the Islamic Revolution in 79. So maybe one day I'll do a big piece, longer piece about that. But this is one of the few countries where that happens. Sometimes we get the devil, the devil that we don't like out. I don't use the word devil here. I'm using the word devil here. Please, just so you understand from a Western lens. Doesn't mean that I actually think all these parties are devils, right? But that's kind of like how the West looks at other countries, right? So yeah, so there's that. But anyway, no war, which is good. Which is good. That's very good. I like that. And more peace, more conversations, and more diplomacy. Okay, good talk.